Hello, everybody, and welcome to R-Rated, where today we're taking a look at I Am Groot, a collection of short little mini-sodes focusing on Groot, the teeniest member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and him growing up after the events of the first Guardians movie, though it seems like by the end we are during/after Guardians 2. It's not, like, super-duper clear. This is probably going to be a pretty short video because the series itself is quite small. It's a collection of 5 minisodes, and so on Disney Plus, when you go to look at a TV show or a movie, it'll give you the full runtime displayed on the screen. It'll show you, so I think for these there was like 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 7 for the last one, but that's not the content of each episode. That is from the start of the Marvel, actually I think from the start of the Disney Plus logo, the Marvel Studios crawl, the content, the credits, Marvel Studios, end slate, and then all of the international credits. So each of these episodes is actually like 3 minutes long. So the whole series is like probably about somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes in total. So there's not really a ton to talk about. So this is probably going to be a very short review, I guess, response review for those. But we can take a look at these. So like I said, we have 5 episodes. The only one that really gives you well, I guess that's not entirely true. The one that gives you the best idea of when this stuff is taking place is the first episode, Groot's First Steps, where we actually see him briefly in the form that he takes during the mid-credits scenes of Guardians 1 when he's dancing to, oh God, I Want You Back, I think, right? I think it's I Want You Back. I was going to say ABC. It's not ABC. I think it's I Want You Back. The scene where he's like dancing around in there and Drax turns and he freezes and he starts dancing again. I'm 99% sure that the mocap for Baby Groot dancing was actually James Gunn. I'm not 100% positive about that. I would have to go and double check on that, but I think that was James Gunn himself doing the dancing there. I'm pretty sure. It might have been Sean Gunn. I think it was James Gunn. But the first episode, Groot's First Steps, feature him kind of growing over time from that little twiggy version of himself in the credits there to something a lot closer to how we see him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where he's a little bit stockier and he's a little taller and running around on his feet. In this one, we see him growing steadily over time until he kind of cracks the pot that he's in. And then the spot that he takes up on the ship by the window, he's kind of swapped out for like this fake plastic bonsai tree that he then fights and winds up knocking both the tree and himself to the floor, cracking both of their pots, which he discovers, oh my God, I got legs. And he starts walking around. It's a very sweet little thing. I thought that, well, first of all, before we even get into that, the Marvel Studios crawl is interrupted about like 3 or 4 seconds in by Groot going, like a hand from Groot going up and hitting a remote and then pulling it back to fast forward the Marvel Studios crawl, because that thing is usually pretty long all by itself. It would literally be like whole percentage points of the entire runtime. Otherwise, so they skip through that. You get a quick, like, blurry up close shot of Groot, and he kind of falls and trips, and then the episode begins. Also, though, the little orb things, there's like little floating orbs that look like they look sort of like in Star Wars: A New Hope. The kind of, I don't know how to put it other than torture orbs, the torturers. That's good. That I guess are about to do invasive, awful shit to Princess Leia, like the needly things. It looks like those without anything else attached to them. But there's 2 of them, and they're on the Guardian's ship. They're on, I think, Peter's ship, the Milano, which I'm just like, he didn't have those. That's weird. That's kind of just an odd thing there. Like it works for like the comedic silly shit, but like it was just interesting that was a thing there. But Groot with the hand at the beginning, like it was legitimately, I actually like, whoa, like jumped in my seat when I watched it because it was so unexpected. And then he pops up and I was like, I was not expecting a jump scare. We are coming up on Halloween. That's not the reason for this lighting choice. That's just, we had green for Groot and then kind of a like an orangey, browny kind of root color for Groot as well. And just happens to be, we're coming up on Halloween. But yeah, we get to see Groot kind of learning a few things about himself, that he can walk. He's got like his extendable arms that he can kind of shed at will too. So it's kind of fun to see. It's kind of fun to see that going on, and he's like punching the bonsai tree, and he hurts his hand. He kind of just like it's a fun little silly thing. We get the second episode, The Little Guy, where we have Groot. One, he builds himself a little like Kashik-style tree hut thing before a huge being kind of takes it, and then an even bigger bird swoops down and takes that guy. And Groot's pissed off until he moves a rock and discovers a tiny little micro-civilization for whom he is a giant and who consider him a god of some sort when he arrives. At first seeming to like maybe be willing to worship him, but then fearing him and then trying to attack him. Including with little like they start with like little primitive things, and they have laser weapons and turrets and all these things, and eventually he farts, and a leaf kind of blows over and lands on them, and they're just like woo as everyone starts eating, and they're crying as they're like grabbing the leaf to like feed themselves for presumably a long time. Groot realizes what's going on. He's like, and he goes to get more leaves to like bring back, but accidentally steps into the civilization and just kind of like, I'm out of here. Silly little vignettes. They're cute little harmless things. There's a part of me that would love to see like a slightly more expanded version of this, but it's cute for what it is. The third episode we have is called Groot's Pursuit. In this one, Groot is being woken up by a bunch of clanging on the ship. At this point, they're in the Quadrant, it looks like, which is the ship that they take during Guardians 2, I think. It's when they are essentially when the team takes what remains of the Ravagers' stuff after all of the Ravagers are killed. So Kraglin is probably on the ship at this point. I guess Nebula is too. I think. Oh no, she leaves the ship. I forgot about that. She actually leaves the ship after Guardians 2. They don't interact again until Infinity War. But anyway, they're on the Quadrant. Groot is woken up in his PJs, and he drinks a glass of water and then goes to follow. He finds these little iridescent splotches on the ground, and he's following those and he falls into the toilet, uses the bathroom, and then walks back, and he eventually encounters this thing that's reconstituting itself into like this kind of like watery being. It reminded me of like I guess Chaos or from the Sonic Adventure, or Shadow Mario from Super Mario Sunshine. Just like this weird watery kind of being that mimics Groot, says I am Groot. They argue and they start a dance off. Very, very in the spirit of the rest of the Guardian stuff. Though early into the dance off, first of all they both start to enjoy it after a while. But then the other one, the Water Groot, starts talking a lot. Not just I am Groot, but it's like, no, not like that. You have to do a spin here, then a pirouette, and then you then you throw all of your limbs out, and he becomes like this giant, like tentacled water thing, and then he becomes an even bigger one. But it's not like a threatening way. He actually seems excited to teach Groot how to dance. So they kind of walk over to an area, and then Groot just kind of goes boom, burn, and it like jettisons this creature into open space. And that's it. That's just the whole thing. And it's like, whoa, okay. These are so bizarre. We have Groot takes a bath. This one is super simple. Groot finds a little puddle that, by combining a bunch of these little things nearby, turns it into this multicolor, acid-looking jacuzzi. And when he rubs the mud onto himself, he grows leaves really quickly. And he's having fun, like making afros and wigs and clothes. And he makes a horse rear to him and all that stuff. And it's like, all right, this is kind of fun. But he keeps like making noise. So a nearby bird squirrel thing, would it be a squirtle or a burled? Birdle? A birdle? We'll call it a birdle. He starts getting pissed off and eventually just kind of like knocks off a bunch of the leaves. But also, like, before this even happens, Groot's noticing that the leaves are dying on him very quickly. So the mud makes them just kind of whoop and grow, but they only last like a couple seconds before they fall again. He goes back to the puddle. The puddle's super dry. Like, it's all the magic mud is gone. And the bird thing is just kind of laughing at him. So off screen, he apparently beats up the birdle, steals its fur feather thing, whatever it's got. It's got like a squirrel tail, but it's got like a little pompadour looking thing. He steals all of that and keeps it as a little boa while the Birdle is just shivering inside of a tree. And again, that's it. That's the whole thing. Like, these are so little simple. The most involved one is the final episode, Magnum Opus, where Groot has decided he wants to create a little piece of art, a little collage kind of thing, to celebrate his family, the Guardians, and kind of give to them. And so he takes a bunch of stuff from everybody. He steals and tears apart Peter Quill's old Alf comic book, a comic book made by Marvel originally, though in this universe the Marvel logo is gone. He snips off some of Rocket's tail fur while he's sleeping. He steals Drax's soap while he's taking a shower. And then he like uses Quill's like boot thruster to like burn stuff in there, and he blows up like a circuit board to try to it makes like green little sparkling confetti dust that he's trying to like collect on the thing. But of course, an explosion going off on the ship sets off alarms. It wakes Rocket up. He comes to check on him, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell? Oh, you're right there. You okay? Why does it look like a bomb went off in here? Because a bomb did go off. Okay, all right." But he looks at the artwork and it's like, "Oh, this is cute. All right, we can put it on the fridge. All right, I can't say mad at you. Go back to bed." And then like barely survives as the blown out hole kind of like caves in, and he has to grab and pull him out. It's a cute little thing. It's the only one that features other like known characters, I guess you could say. Does seem to have Bradley Cooper doing a couple lines there as Rocket. For the most part, I thought that the CGI for this was really, really good. It wasn't like, necessarily film grade, but the CGI was pretty solid for a thing that was going to rely almost 100%, if not 100%, on CGI. They did a really good job with it, with the exception of Rocket looks particularly rough. The rigging for him looks really stiff and not very nuanced. Like, he definitely has he's got 2010s TV show, like animated 3D TV show rigging going on. Like, he kind of has really hard, there's a name for it. I was going to say waypoints. That's not right. Video editing does the same thing, where it's like you sort of have nodes that are like, here's a point, here's another point, and you either go between them smoothly, or you ease out and then ease back in, or you have like a spline or something. Point being, he looks a little rough. The look of him is also a little cheaper looking. They obviously didn't have enough budget to really, get the render time and all of that stuff to go there. Would have been nice if they did. It would have been cool to have, a more movie quality Rocket, but otherwise it's fine. It's a cute little thing. Definitely seems like these were more geared towards young children, not even in like a super young children kind of way. Like this, none of this is like educational material. It's more like, silly fart stuff. And, here's Groot using the toilet, and here's them having a dance off. And here's a silly monster made of water. Here's like an annoying cackling bird squirrel thing. Like it's all, pretty harmless stuff for kids. I thought it was okay though. It's so hard to give this one like a grade because there's so little of it. There was less material to the entirety of Am Groot than there was in half an episode of Ms. Marvel. So it's kind of hard to like give it a real like numeric value for it. I wish that it was that there was a bit more. I wish the rigging on Rocket was a bit better. There were some voicey bits that sounded a little rough for both Groot and like the water Groot. But otherwise it was fine. I would probably give this, and this would be the entirety of I Am Groot. Yeah, I'd probably give it like, I guess I'd probably give it a 7. It's fine. It needed a little bit more spit and polish, but otherwise it's fine. Totally inoffensive, fun, silly shit. And yeah, it's a fun thing. I'm curious what they're going to do with the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I hope it's a little bit more put together than this, but I think it will be if it's going to involve the actual whole team as opposed to just Groot. but we'll be seeing that at the end of this year, so we'll see how that goes. It's interesting that they have two separate Guardians, essentially TV things going on in the same year, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be pretty cool. That's all that I've really got for this. I really don't have anything else to say. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, they have a nice little reference. It appears to be a reference to what was it, Happy Gilmore of all things, where the dancing water Groot at one point references "It's all in the hips," which is very much, it's a line from Happy Gilmore by, I want to say, Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed, or am I mixing people up now? Yeah, I think. Oh God, I'm gonna embarrass myself now if that's not the case. What's interesting to though is he was so he was in Happy Gilmore. I say with confidence. Yes. Okay. Chubbs Peterson. Yeah. He was in Happy Gilmore, and yes, he was Apollo Creed. Good. All right. I'm not a complete idiot. He was in Happy Gilmore playing, Chubbs, who I think was kind of essentially like taught Happy how to play golf, kinda. And then he shows up in Little Nicky, another Adam Sandler, Happy Madison Productions movie where he plays the same character. I thought that was very weird at the time. That's it was that, and then, oh, good Lord, what the hell was his name? Rob Schneider kept showing up in a bunch of those movies as the "You Can Do It" guy, until Deuce Bigalow, maybe, where Adam Sandler showed up as that guy. They do a lot of weird shit over there. I'm going way off course. I have nothing else to say. It's a fun little cute thing. It'll take 20 minutes of your time. Go enjoy it on Disney+. I'm going to be coming back for She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I'm really looking forward to that. We'll probably double up next weekend because I wanted to put these out Friday and over the weekend, but we had a lot of recording going on, so I didn't get a chance to get in on that. But yeah, we should be all caught up with everything about a week from now. And then we'll be doing Wakanda Forever in mid-November, and then sometime in December we'll have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special as the final little epilogue, the feather in the cap to Phase 4 of the MCU. And then going forward, I'll probably do these a little bit differently. I may do whole series as a single video, and then movies obviously as a single video, or mix things up a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. If I'm actually keeping up to date with them and doing them once a week, it's not too bad. But if I get backed up, obviously it gets a little bit trickier and a little bit more stuff has to go into it. But either way, thank you guys for watching. I would love to hear your comments down below. Anything, your thoughts on I Am Groot or also this series. And I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.